Hello, hello, everyone. Today we are reading about a case you probably have not heard about. This is Seamus Gray. He is 21 years old, disappeared March 18th in the early morning hours from Waukegan, Illinois. He was last seen at a bar, and there was an altercation at that bar. Something happened. There's actually a video of someone else holding him down. Now, this is a big guy, 6'3", 170 pounds, 21 years old, and in the Navy. He was a sailor, and the Navy has been searching for him ever since he disappeared, as well as his mother. And that's what prompted me to do this reading, because I just watched his mother on TV, and it was heart-wrenching. She's literally begging for people to help her find him, and she's searching dumpsters looking for him. So how sad is that? The article I read online about him said that they believe he may have gone into the water. He was last seen heading that way. I guess this is right by the Great Lakes where he was last seen, and it sounds like he had been at bars the night before. So it doesn't look good. It doesn't look good, but we're going to ask our regular questions: foul play, suicide, accident, all of that stuff. And we're going to see what the cards have to say. And hopefully it's not something too terrible. You hope the person, best case scenario always is that the person just left on their own. That would be our best case scenario here. So first question I'm going to ask about is foul play. So tell us about this being foul play. So we'll see what the cards have to say about Seamus. And his name is spelled Seamus if you want to look him up. It's not spelled the way it sounds. Last name is Gray. So this is him this is the Two of Wands, him going out into the world, making plans. This card is often a plan card, but here we also have the Seven of Wands. So while he was planning it looks like going towards the water, because you see that in this card, it also looks like things were coming at him quickly and he was having to defend himself. And we know there was an altercation. So that is kind of making me think there may have been some foul play, because look at how fast all these wands are coming at this person. And they're literally trying to hold things back. Things are coming way too fast. And in this card, the person has two different shoes on. It's like things happen so quickly that they didn't even get to put their shoes on properly because that happened so fast. So doesn't look the greatest. It does look like he had to defend himself, and that makes me a little worried when I see that. All right, let's ask about suicide. I personally don't feel this is suicide, but I know you guys have heard me on here saying I think it's this or that, and then the cards tell me something different. So let's see what the cards say about suicide. Sometimes we do get the planning card when it's suicide. This is the Lover's card, if you can see that. And that doesn't seem like suicide to me. It doesn't feel like it to me. No. Let me just ask for clarification on where the cards are going with that Lover's card. Tell me a little bit more about this Lover's card. Not the card I would expect to see when I'm asking about suicide. Now we've got the Ten of Swords. That is a card I would expect to see if I was asking about suicide. But it makes me wonder if we're going back more to foul play here. And there was some situation with a lover that upset him. I do feel the foul play, but I also feel something else going on there in that Lover's card. Let's read a little bit more, because usually it'll start telling us the story. So let's ask about this being an accident, which so far from what I've got, it does not feel like an accident at all. Tell me about this being an accident. It's not an accident. No, definitely not an accident. This is like mom looking towards them. I think he was well loved by his family, well cared for. Definitely don't feel like this was an accident. I'm going to ask again about clarification on that suicide because that card is making me feel a little not so sure. Clarification on this being suicide. Well, that's resting, but that's kind of a friend. I think a friend was involved, okay? Yeah, that's what I get. And that's why we got the Lover's card. Sometimes the cups can stand for water, and I know I've had cards, this card specifically, before when somebody actually put someone else in water. So did the altercation between a friend, which is the reason we got the Lover's card, end up with somebody kind of putting him in the water to hide the situation? It kind of feels like that may be the case. Let me ask about him leaving on his own. I'm pretty sure he did not leaving on his own. It feels more like a friend who betrayed him. I don't feel like he left on his own. That's the Knight of Pentacles, and the Knight of Pentacles isn't going anywhere quick. Let's ask about the person involved in the altercation being the one that, and that's what I'm seeing. I think this was a friend of his that betrayed him. The person involved in the altercation being the one that, or he may have been trying to pick up a girl too. I mean, that's possible up here. Tell me about the person in the altercation. All right, person in the altercation. Yeah, I think a girl snubbed him. Pretty positive that's what happened. Girl snubbed him. He was trying to hit on a girl. This other guy came through as like her savior. You know how guys will be, trying to get her away from him. And okay, so definitely this person, it was the person in the altercation, because here we see the Seven of Swords, and that is a sneaky card, harming card, and then trying to sneak away. And then even more telling here is the Three of Wands. Remember, we had the Two of Wands at the beginning of kind of just making plans, sort of, it looked like he was going to go walk by the water. And then all of a sudden he had to defend himself because we got the Seven of Wands. Things happening really fast and he had to defend himself. We have this situation with, it looks like possibly a girl involved, and that leading to his downfall. Could be a girl at the bar. But here now we have the Three of Wands. And what does the Three of Wands mean? Setting your ships to sail and waiting for them to come in. So literally the person in the Three of Wands has put something into the water and pushed it away. And that really is what I am feeling with these cards and the situation here. It looks like a girl snubbed him. I feel like, again, the put in water with this Six of Cups. And now we have that whole situation again reflected in that Three of Wands, but somebody being awfully sneaky, somebody putting him in the water is what I get in these two cards, this one and this one. So, and the sneakiness in that one. So that's what I think happened to him. I think there was an altercation. Maybe he was hitting on a woman. Some other guy tried to defend him. There was some sort of thing going on there. And it got out of control is what I think. It absolutely got out of control. And maybe this other guy even he continued towards the water and this other guy still came after him or something of that nature is what it looks like. So I think that's what happened. Let's ask where he can be found. It sounds like he's in the water, but maybe it can give us a hint to an area around where he is. This is really tough when I try to read water and where someone is, because really there's not a lot of landmarks in water to read. But I'm going to go into it blindly and just throw out what I get. I don't know the area. I don't know that water. I don't know what landmarks there are there. So I'm just going to put them out there, and if somebody else knows, great. Well, that's definitely an angel in the water. I do feel like Temperance sometimes can be getting closer to shore, coming closer to shore, so that's a possibility. I just feel like this card's telling us look in the water. There is a new day dawning, so let me ask if he'll be found. I do feel like that's a possibility with this, which is good because they've been looking for him for a little while. I would look a little closer to shore, maybe. It does feel like he might be a little getting closer to shore, wash up. Sorry, that's what I'm seeing. Maybe he'll wash up on shore. Um, let's ask, will he be found? Will Seamus be found? It looks like murder to me. Honestly, it looks terrible. Will Seamus be found? And I think they're suspecting that too. Well, this looks like the fight down here and the mother crying and kind of her worst nightmares and all the worst stuff going in her mind coming true, fortunately. So let's that doesn't tell me that he'll be found, but it does tell me there was an altercation which we saw. I do believe it led to his demise, and I do believe definitely a weapon was used because we see that multiple times throughout here. So let's ask again, will Seamus be found? Because we see the mom worrying that that's maybe not going to be happening. I mean, poor mom is out there searching dumpsters on her own. Can you imagine? So we really, you hope he will be found. Everybody, it seems, unfortunately, is thinking he may be passed at this point. Will he be found? I do think he will be. This is the family card, which tells me maybe, he'll be reunited with his family eventually. I think it's going to be like a little while, though. Let me ask for timing on that. What they were saying in the article about him, the police were explaining that if he was in the river, which they seem to have a feeling he is, or lake, I think it's one of the Great Lakes there, he would go under, and because it's so cold right now, it would take the gases in his body releasing until he came to surface, which could be weeks and weeks, many, maybe even months. So at least weeks though. So let's ask about a time frame. I'm not the greatest on timing, so just take everything that comes with this with a grain of salt. But if you don't work on it, you don't get better. So I'm going to continue to work on my timing because I really do want to get better at it. Tell me about timing with this Seamus and being found. It's going to be a while. This is the Hanged Man. This says have patience. You're just going to have to wait. So I don't feel like it's going to happen really fast. I hope it's going to happen. That 10 of Pentacles led me to believe it may. I'm going to ask for clarification on that. It's not going to happen real fast here. Tell me about Seamus being found. Timing-wise. Timing for Seamus to be found. Timing for Seamus to be found. It's a big, huge lake, so it doesn't always make things easy. Well, here's the Two of Cups and the Six of Wands. So that these both are very positive cards to me. The Six of Wands especially is a victory card. I do feel like these friends, maybe even the Navy, that's going to keep searching for him, may find him. But it's not going to be like really, really fast. It'll be a little while. All right, well, at least there's that. Let's ask for advice to searchers. And then maybe his mom can, I know, because right now she's living a mother's worst nightmare. That's this card telling us. I know it. So maybe they can at least put him to rest. Advice to searchers. I couldn't imagine going around searching dumpsters for my child. So, it's important. I hope they find him. and at least give her that advice to searchers. This is the Page of Swords. This is look for the person who did this to him. That's exactly what it is. There's a young guy who he was fighting with, that did this, and he knows where he put him in the water. Now a body can move quickly in that water, and we know that as well. But this guy does have some sort of knowledge. He has knowledge because that's what that sword's telling us. This young guy has knowledge of where he may be. So I would like right now everything's cloudy. You see that in that card, but I would get with that guy. I know, easier said than done, right? Tell us where you put the body in, because nobody's going to want to do that. But this guy can clear up the ambiguity, the one that actually did it. And maybe they can promise him some sort of, I don't know, you don't want anybody to get off, but some sort of something to make him talk. Because he knows exactly where he put him in. And I don't know how far he traveled from there. Let me ask about that. How far is Seamus from where he went in? Like, this will just give me an idea. I'm not going to get any exacts here, but this should give me some idea of, is he far or is he close? Is he... All right, where is Seamus now compared to where he was put in? Well, he's under the water now. That's what this says. This is an underwater card. We got this with Kylie Rodney when we knew she was underwater. I've had a few people that have been underwater, and I get this card for them. It shows me that's the water, the blue. The cups stand for water, and then you see they're like hidden underneath, So right now he's just underwater, so we're not going to find him. It's going to be a little while. Yeah, he's not come up yet, is what I'm saying. Then it's not really telling me exactly where he is, unfortunately. And it's really hard for the cards to do that and really hard for me to understand, but I keep trying. He is underwater in that area. Looks like somebody, this altercation guy, put him in the water. He murdered him, is what I'm saying. And unfortunately, the mom and the police's fears seem to be correct. It just doesn't look good. It doesn't look good at all. Let's ask current physical state. I mean, that's the last thing we can ask about, but it's, from what I'm seeing here, it looks bad. It looks like mom and police are correct. All right, tell us about Seamus's current physical state. Breathing, walking around in a body, or in spirit form. We did get the temperance already. Yeah, I do feel again, there's that ambiguity next to the water with the water and the swords. And I feel like these swords, we've got swords all throughout his reading. I feel like he's in the water right by the shore there. And I do feel like this Mr. King of Wands had a lot to do with it. This other guy who was fighting with him put him in that water. And yeah, unfortunately, I just don't see this having a positive outcome. So I just hope they keep looking for him in the water. That's where my cards are saying keep looking. If that's helpful in any way to anybody who watches this, that's what I'm seeing. It looks possibly like his Navy people may be the ones that find him. I hope so. They just need to keep looking. And it's going to be a little bit of a while. It's not going to happen overnight. This guy that fought him could give some answers to where he went, but right now I think they're going to have to see where the current was taking things in that direction. Yeah. So that's what I got. Unfortunately, Seamus, nice looking young guy, 21 years old, and I really hope they can find him for his mother. She needs this peace. So I'm really hoping. It looks like they will from what I see, but it's not going to be real quick. All right, people. Bye-bye.